Good morning on day 3. So today I want to introduce you to some rotary motion in our linkages. Originally we've just been using fixed bars, but I'm going to show you a type of linkage called a Treadle linkage. This Treadle linkage is a circle. You have a wheel here with a central pivot point, and then you have a connecting rod that goes between the wheel and an additional linkage. You have a fixed pivot point at the bottom, and you can convert rotary motion into oscillating motion. The motion we have been doing has all been linear. Now I want to expand what we are able to do. So I'm going to show you my Treadle linkage, and I'm going to share a few questions that you are going to have to complete on Classroom. So, in my Treadle linkage, right here, I had to get a little crafty because the wheel itself, I didn't want it to hit my connecting rod. But you'll see that if I hold this fixed pivot, and this fixed pivot is, actually if I could explain, I started using paper clips, but I bent the paper clip underneath the foam pad, if you can see it right there. Alright, so I did that trick here and here. But now what I want you to do, you are going to create your own Treadle linkage. Here we go. Woo! It's always a little dicey. There we go. Let me get a little closer for you here. So now, as I spin the wheel, you'll see that I have some oscillating motion from this rod. I actually think I probably, instead of using a push pin here, I probably should have done the paper clip trick as well. A little hairy. Okay, so I've got a few questions for you to answer. The first question: what happens to the amount of oscillation when I connect the rod further away? So if I were to take this, move it down, and connect it here, how much more or less, what effect do you see on the amount of oscillation? That's number one. Number two, going back to my original setup. Isn't this fun watching me fumble with things? Okay, so my original setup, what's going to happen to the oscillation if I increase the distance from the pivot point to my connecting rod? Like that. So what's going to happen to the oscillation if I connect it this way? And then my last question is, what happens to the motion if I connected it really close, right here? So once again, my questions for you. 1. What happens if I change the distance for the connecting rod? 2. What happens if I connect the connecting rod to this linkage all the way up to the top? And 3, what happens when I connect it down to the bottom? For this assignment, you are going to submit a Google document with a picture of your setup, and I want you to answer these 3 questions. I will provide a document for you. Happy building!